Hey everybody, I'm Josh and welcome to another episode of Just Sayin. Thank you. It's time for the host chat segment, so let's start chatting. Have you ever noticed that, and I'm sure most of you know this, that around the full moon people just turn into ass hats? Have you ever noticed it? Maybe it's because I work in the service industry that I recognize this, but it's insane. It's like everybody forgets their manners, everybody forgets politeness, everybody forgets the golden rule. I mean, we've all forgotten about all of that anyway in the recent years, but it gets worse around the full moon or whenever the barometric pressure drops. Back when I was in EMT, we would have more calls the 2 days before the full moon, and then the 2 days after the full moon than we would the rest of the month. It's insane. It's crazy. We can always tell when we're going to be busy, or when we were going to be busy. I stopped doing that back in 2009 when I hurt my shoulder. But pay attention. For those of you who have never noticed that before, pay attention. Maybe I'm just crazy. Well, I know I'm crazy, but that's besides the point. Before I forget again, I just want to let you know I do have one of my migraines right now, and it's taking a lot of my effort to hold my eyelid up right now. So while I'm talking, I may stutter more than normal. I may just stop talking and forget what I'm talking about, or just continue talking and forget what I'm talking about as I'm saying it. That happens a lot. So if any of that stuff happens, I apologize. Be glad I have my glasses on. Otherwise, this is what my eye looks like. But I'm doing what I can do to hold it up. So anyway, I apologize in advance. My next question goes out to those of you who have had COVID. I'm talking about the original COVID back in 2020. I had it back in October of 2020, and then again I tested positive back in, it was a couple months ago, 2-3 months ago. But even up until then, I was still having trouble with tasting and smelling. Now I hear people get it right back. I hear people take a while to get it back, but do. Sometimes I can taste just great. Sometimes it's too powerful, or sometimes the smell or taste is too... I can't taste or smell at all. Sometimes I can only smell certain things, like pepper or, it's just random. It's the weirdest thing. Or is anybody else having issues like that? As far as the energy goes, I have had such a lack of energy ever since I had it 2 years ago. Now, I have heard stories as of lately of professional athletes that are saying they're still not up to their normal regimen from when they had it. So maybe that part's not just me. And I always hear that, like, when you have the flu, it really knocks you out and takes your energy away, but people really didn't pay attention to it, I think, until COVID hit. And it does take a while to get it back, but I didn't think it'd be 2 years. Did it really drain me that much? It's just really weird. Like, I don't know. You have the flu, you're down for 2 days, maybe a week, and then 2 weeks later, you're fine. Here it is 2 years later, and I'm still ready to go to bed at 8 o'clock if I don't take a nap. Maybe it's because I'm almost 40. Who knows? But I do think there's something with it. And like I said, I've heard stories where people will never get their full energy back. And they don't think that they will right now. They may later on, but they don't think that they will. I don't know. I hope I do, because I hate this if I would let myself, I would sleep all day long, 24/7. If they let me, or if I let myself. But no, I make myself get up and go to work. But I worked the last 2 days, and I would sleep up until my shift, come home, maybe relax and watch some Paramount Plus or YouTube or something. And then I would go to bed and then sleep until my next shift. It's just, I don't know. But I do know that, like I was going to say with the full moon thing, I believe that men have a cycle. And maybe it's just because it's the full moon, people, that I go a little crazy. Like, I suffered from depression. I don't deny that. I'm happy to talk about it. Ha! Get it? Happy to talk about depression. And I'm on medication for it. But it's like right around the full moon, I get even more depressed. Like, I don't take my medication that depressed, even though I do take my medication, if that makes any sense. I don't know. We'll see. I think it's just because I'm getting older and I'm starting to hate people. Who knows? I do come home a lot. Like, I don't really go out with people ever since COVID. And I don't want to say that's because I'm afraid of COVID. But because part of me is just like, I don't care if I have friends. I've been burned by so many of my past friends that it's just like, why bother? Anyway, but yeah, let me know. Are you still having problems with your taste and smell, with your energy, or have you noticed people become asshats around the full moon, or when the barometric pressure drops? Now, did I already tell this story? No, I didn't. So when the barometric pressure drops, back when I was in EMS, I had a favorite day dispatcher. I'm going to pretend her name is Rose because she doesn't know I'm going to talk about her yet. I'm going to message her after I talk about her and let her know. So let's just say her name is Rose. There was one day where it stormed for a few hours and I was getting off shift and I was like, man, it was crazy how busy we got there during that storm. And I quit being an EMT back in 2009 when I hurt my shoulder. And so it's been that long, so I don't know the exact conversation. But something along these lines. And she said, yeah, well, next time it storms, pay attention. We'll start getting a bunch of calls all at once. And so a couple shifts later, we were working together again. And it was getting ready to storm. It was dark out. She paged me and she's like, get ready to get hit. The storm's coming. I'm like, okay. Sure as shit, 5 minutes after the storm started, we went from a level 7, which means we had 7 ambulances available, to a level 2. It's crazy. It's like people forget how to be people and just turn stupid. Or they turn into asshats. And for some reason, I like saying the word asshats lately. So, anyway. So without further ado, let's go ahead and continue the show. One more quick thing. Please be sure to watch in 2 weeks, May 8th, I believe. Yeah, May 8th is my 3rd annual Mother's Day special. So be sure to watch that the day that we honor our mommies. Which should actually be every day, but whatever. Let's go ahead and answer the question, what is Josh drinking? PepsiCo. Call me. Email me. Do something. Contact me. Even coupons. While I am not drinking Mountain Dew today, but I do have it displayed here, I am drinking my Cool Blue Gatorade. Because it's delicious. A little quick. Shameless plug. Wrong way. Everything's backwards. When I think I'm doing this side of my hair, but I'm really doing that side. It's really weird. Anyway. Because I go, see, I did it again. I go like this with my hair, and if I do that, it goes the other way, and then I just look like an idiot. Anyway. So, for this next sketch, I had something completely different that I wanted to talk about up until about an hour ago, in real time. Something happened, it really irked me, and it's time for me to tell you what really gets my goat. Again, I'm going off the cuff here because this was not what was scripted that I was going to talk about. Have you ever, like, for those of you, I was in EMS, doctors, nurses, lawyers, people back in my generation, everybody, like, you documented everything. We didn't have smartphones to take little mental notes. No, not that I do that. I just forget and get mad when I get home and realize I'm out of Mountain Dew. Anyway. Sorry, I went off on a little rant there. But for those of you who are like me and take a lot of notes, and like if I'm at a position at work or something, and there is no paperwork, I will create paperwork. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because I like paper trails. Back when like I said, when I was in EMS, we had to write everything down. If we got taken to court and it was not in the chart, it legally did not happen. And so I'm just used to kind of taking a mental note of a lot. However, when you find your perfect pen, the pen that fits right in your hand, it writes so smoothly, it doesn't smear, and you use it for a little bit, and then the store stops selling them. Seriously? You're still selling pens that were cool when I was a kid, and I'm almost 40, but all of a sudden, I start liking a certain pen and I can't buy it anymore? I use blue ink for home, black ink for work, and I don't sell my blue ink one. What? There wasn't even a spot on the shelf for them. Why? Get rid of the pens from when I was a kid. Carry my good pen. And that is what really gets my goat. Why? Because I could rant on longer, but I'm out of time. So we're jumping right into another cheesy monologue. According to our friends at holidayinsights.com, the fourth week of April is National Karaoke Week. So I went to latenightlol.com and in the search bar typed in karaoke. So while outdated, all the jokes will have something to do with karaoke. Hold on tight. Here we go. The judges on American Idol are complaining that all of the contestants sound like they're doing karaoke. Because if there's one thing American Idol's not, it's karaoke. In a new interview, Kim Kardashian revealed that she once did karaoke with former President Barack Obama. Said Obama, we just sang the national anthem. Alcohol was illegal in this country from 1919 to 1935. So for 14 long years, not one person sang karaoke. And the world was happier. Actually, they were all much more mad because they weren't drinking and going through withdrawals. It's time for my joke of the week. Last week in Miami, Beyonce crashed a karaoke bar and started singing one of her own songs. Not to be outdone, Britney Spears did crashed the same karaoke bar and lip-synced some of hers. Andrew Lloyd Webber's songs will be available soon for a karaoke game for Xbox. So if you like Andrew Lloyd Webber's music and you play Xbox 360, who are you? To me, American Idol seems like singing karaoke without Japanese businessmen groping you. So it begs the question, what's the point? My heart goes out to the poor passengers stuck on a floating bedpan in the Gulf of Mexico. For 4 days, 4,000 people stuck on a ship with foul odors, toilets that weren't working, and long lines for food. And the worst part, they still were having karaoke. If I could find my button, this would go a lot quicker. A new study finds that chimpanzees occasionally will drink too much fermented palm sap, which causes them to act drunk. Researchers said they could tell the chimps were drunk when one of them suggested karaoke. A man in New York City was arrested for punching another guy at a karaoke bar because he didn't like his singing. The man was charged with 8 counts of doing what everyone else in the bar wanted to do. And finally, Randy Jackson is now the main judge on American Idol, telling some contestants that they sound like they're doing karaoke. And he's right. Some karaoke singers actually sound like they're doing karaoke. Now, we're going to have a little history lesson because I thought it'd be fun to learn while I'm making fun of things. On April 26th, is the National Richter Scale Day. It's the day that we honor Charles F. Richter, who invented the Richter scale back in 1935. The largest recorded earthquake was a 9.5 in 1960 in Chile, killing 1,655 people, suffered $550 million in damage. And I got all that information from Live Science or livescience.com. I'll put a link in the description below. So now you can say I taught you something. All right. But I thought it would be fun to honor the Richter Scale Day, looking at bad handyman jobs that look like the only reason that could be that bad is because there was an earthquake. So it's time for this week's edition of Oops. Now they say, at least those Star Wars people, say that duct tape is like the Force. It's got a light side, a dark side, and it holds the universe together. And it does do a lot. But I don't think you should use it for caulk. Did I say that right? Caulk? Is it caulk? I feel like I add too hard of an L sound. Caulk. Like I'm clicking in the back of my throat. Anyway, so this next picture, I don't recommend this. Please do not try this at home unless you're on the movie Jackass, because I could picture one of them doing this when they're sawing a board, holding it between their legs. It's gonna kick back. And that person is not gonna feel good. I'm not saying I've done it. Now, this next picture is either just someone being a smartass, or it's just really funny. Maybe they ordered the wrong soap, I don't know. But they did fill the soap dispenser. Can't say they didn't, because they filled it. Now, I'm going to ask you here in a second to please close your eyes. And then I'm going to set the scene. And then I'm going to ask you to open your eyes, and I'm going to show you the picture, because it's funnier that way. At least I think so. So close your eyes. Trust me, I'm not going to hit you in the head like my sisters would when I was a kid. Close your eyes. Okay, now hit yourself in the head. No, okay. Close your eyes. It's the middle of the night. You're walking to the bathroom. You're at somebody's house who... You never really stay over at their house, but you were in town. So you're staying over at their house, or maybe you're a kid home from college. And you get up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, and you can't find the light switch. Okay, now open your eyes. And you step on this. What? Why are there 4 screws coming out of the floor? And I thought stepping on the Lego was bad. Okay, so this guy is one of them wrong kind of people. He's on a ladder, putting one foot, like pushing the ladder away from the wall so that he's away from the wall, while cutting something concrete above him. Like, it just, I look at that picture, I'm just like, why would you think that was okay? Your brain cells not connect. Something tells me even the person standing down the hallway should have said, hey bro, that's probably not a good idea. But what do I know? I'm not in the construction business. Clearly. I say that because I've told you all what I do. Anyway, here's the next one. Now, something tells me if you guys are going to redo your bathroom, make sure you measure and know where the water comes out of the faucet into the sink. Just something you might need to know. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't have my own home. I rent. However, I do know that you can cut tiles and not just leave the floor like that. Really? It's a bitch, from what I understand, cutting tiles, but... Now, same scenario as earlier. Can't find the light switch. And then you realize it's already halfway down the staircase. The point of the light is to see that I don't fall down the stairs. But I have to go halfway down the stairs to turn on the lights to make sure that I don't fall down the stairs. Is it making sense to anybody else? Okay. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But this doesn't look like a way to fix your sink. Sometimes people are... just leave me speechless. And finally, it took me a minute to find this one, but that is actually a leg. Someone fell through the ceiling. Or floor, whichever way you want to look at it. Idiot. So, my next little bit, again, wasn't planning on doing this. I was planning on reading you all right now my murder mystery for the next month contest. However, like I said at the beginning of last episode, I believe, I am not doing that until October. And the reason for that is because May is Mystery Month, and October is Murder Mystery Month. So, yeah. And because I couldn't find one in time. Anyway. So I thought I could slip this in instead. And it makes perfect sense along with the segment. So, here we go. A great tradition when you're a little kid is when you get in bed and your mom and dad tuck you in and, Mommy, Daddy, will you please tell me a story? So on April 27th is National Tell a Story Day. So be sure to tell your children a story on April 27th. So I tell you this story because I was trying to find a way to bring this into the show. And I'm thinking about doing a segment involving the Darwin Awards. And for those of you who don't know what they are, please check out darwinawards.com. I'll put a link in the description below. But the Darwin Awards are awards given to people who have passed on in a dumb manner that fit my whole the wrong kind of people type of stories. Okay? Now, this one was read to me, that's right, I'm too cool that I get read to. And I'm just too stupid to know how to read. No, I'm kidding. But this one was, I think my high school English teacher read this to us. And ever since then, I've been hooked on the Darwin Awards. Again, darwinawards.com, check it out. They are hilarious. This one was just a runner-up, and only because the person in the story didn't die. That's the only reason, otherwise they would have warned. But please, once again, check them out, darwinawards.com. Hold on tight. Here we go. This one needs an introduction, so you won't be lost at the beginning. This man was in an accident at work, and so he filled out an insurance claim. The insurance company contacted him and asked him for more information. This was his response. I'm writing in response to your request for additional information. For block number 3 of the accident reporting form, I put poor planning as the cause of my accident. You said in your letter that I should explain more fully, and I trust that the following detail will be sufficient. I am an amateur radio operator, and on the day of the accident, I was working alone on the top of a section of my new 80-foot tower. When I had completed my work, I discovered that over the course of several trips up the tower, brought up approximately 300 pounds of tools and spare hardware. Rather than carry down the unneeded tools and material down by hand, I decided to lower the items down in a small barrel by using the pulley system attached to the gin pole at the top of the tower. Securing the rope at the ground level, I went up to the top of the tower and loaded the tools and material into the barrel. Then I went back to the ground and untied the rope, holding it tightly to ensure a slow descent of the 300-pound tools. You will note in block number 11 of the accident reporting form that I only weigh 155 pounds. Due to my surprise at being jerked off the ground suddenly, I lost my presence of mind and forgot to let go of the rope. Needless to say, I proceeded up at a rather rapid rate of speed up the side of the tower. In the vicinity of the 40-foot section, I met the barrel coming down. This explains for my fractured skull and broken collarbone. Slowed only slightly, I continued my rapid ascent, not stopping until the fingers of my right hand were 2 knuckles deep into the pulley. Fortunately, by this time, I had regained my presence of mind and was able to hold on to the rope in spite of my pain. At approximately the same time, however, the barrel of tools hit the ground and the bottom fell out of the barrel. Devoid of the weight of the tools, the barrel now only weighed approximately 20 pounds. I again refer you to my weight in block number 11. As you might imagine, I began a rapid descent down the side of the tower. In the vicinity of the 40-foot level, I met the barrel coming up. This accounts for my 2 fractured ankles and the lacerations of my leg and lower body. The encounter of the barrel only slowed me. The encounter with the barrel slowed me enough to lessen my injuries when I fell onto the pile of tools. And fortunately, only 3 vertebrae were cracked. And I am sorry to report, however, that as I lay there on the tools in pain, unable to stand unable to stand and watching the empty barrel of 80 foot above me, I again lost my presence of mind and let go of the rope. I know, it was a great story. Wasn't that hilarious, though? That totally is something that would happen to me. Totally would have happened to me. Anyway, so it's time for my next segment, and this one's going to be a funny one because on April 30th, it's National Hairstyle Appreciation Day. So I thought it would be fun to go online and to look for some really kind of cool hairdos and put them in this segment, even though it's something you want to see because they're cool. It's still the things you can't unsee. This first one just explains the whole segment. I don't know what is funnier, the lady's hair or the fact that the hair looks just like the tree to her right. Or maybe her tree looks like her hair. You never know. Here's the next one, and it's pretty cool. Well, I'm sorry, not this one. This one, I can't tell if someone cut the hair of the cat to make it look like this, or if the hair of the cat just looks like this. The tail makes me think something was wrapped around the cat, around the tail. Like a cord or something. But how funny is that? It's kind of cool until you look at the tail. It kind of makes it creepy. But how isn't that like they got stuck in a slinky or something, or one of those tubes outside? Be really tight around the tail though. Anyway, so here's the next one. This one is probably the coolest of them all in this entire segment. How would you like this as your hairstyle? Mom, Dad, walk into their house. How do you like my hair? I would have been kicked out of my house. After getting hit in the head thinking there was an iguana in their home. My mom would have freaked if she saw anyone with this hairdo because she hates snakes. I have to say that's pretty cool though. How could you sleep with that? Or even the last one. And if it did fall, how long did it take to even put the eyeballs back in to the iguana? This one, I'm hoping was just a fun joke because they like Apple products. But I don't think the kid is still at the barber's, so I'm not sure. But this is one devoted Apple fan. Just saying. Here's the next one. This one's pretty cool. It looks like a pineapple. Who lives in a pineapple on my head? SpongeBob SquarePants. That didn't sound right. Now, this one's not just funny because it's a... this one's not just creepy because it's a mugshot. It's creepy because of the hairdo. Like, who would do that? Why would someone do that, I guess, would be the question. This next one, when I first saw it, I was like, damn, I am straight now. How do you not want that piece of meat? Come here, baby. Now, we're going to use our imaginations. This is probably my coolest one. The other one the iguana one would be number 2. This one is really, really creepy. So let's imagine. Use your imaginations. Okay? Close your eyes, take some deep breaths. While I take a drink. Now, let's just say you're in class or at the movies. And you notice someone that sits down in front of you. However, you're going like this in your bag or eating your popcorn or opening your candy or whatever you may be doing. And you look up and you see this. That would freak me out. Until I figured out what it actually was, that would freak me out. And finally, what child doesn't want to have a mermaid for a hairdo? Maybe that girl did. I don't know. Pretty cool, though. Well, that will do it for this week. We are only one more show away. I'm sorry, one show stands between right now and our Mother's Day special. So be sure to watch. Again, that's on May 8th. And I'm dedicating it to my mama. If you think there's something funny I should see and share on the show, be sure to send it to me. There's the show email address. Be sure to follow me on TikTok. Because just because I'm not doing the murder mystery doesn't mean there might not be a TikTok contest. Follow me on TikTok. There you will also find not just exclusive contests, TikTok contests, but my Taser Versus videos and some behind the scenes looks if I ever decide to do it again. We'll see. I always promote it, but then I think about it and I'm like, I'll do it later. And it never gets done. I need to hire somebody to do all that stuff for me. Clip my pants. No. Anyway. While you have a second, because I'm going to give you a second to do it, please click like, subscribe, and get the notifications anytime I post a new video, which is basically every week. Unless it's my 3 weeks off, when I sit home and do nothing. Because I don't have a life. If you want to be my friend, email the show. Very strict screening policy, though. I'm looking for friends. How sad. Just kidding. No, I will take any friends I can get. So... until next week, that's all I'm saying.